and welcome to another brand new episode of This Week in Disney History. I am Milo Beasley, and we are here live on location at the Epcot Center. Back to you, Milo, in the studio. And yeah, thank you, and welcome to another brand new episode of This Week in Disney History. We have a good one for you this week. We're going to see if we can top last week's opening of Disneyland. So there's only one way to do that, and that is to find out what happens this week in Disney history. Woo! Applause. I think we left off on July 18th. So start with July 19th, 1950. Treasure Island, which not to be confused with Treasure Planet or Pleasure Island, which we'll talk about later on in this episode anyways, but Treasure Island becomes the very first Walt Disney film to be filmed in the United Kingdom. And now we have Star Wars, so that's cool. Staying on July 19th, 1989, Walt's 9 old men plus Ub Iwerks. Regardless, the 10 of them were inducted as Disney legends. I will be expecting my phone call any day now. Staying on July 19th, 2011, Lights Motor Action at Disney's Hollywood Studios welcomes Cars 2 star Lightning McQueen. That was pretty cool. I don't know if you guys saw Lights Motor Action prior to it closing down. They had, I just said, that's kind of redundant, I guess. Yeah, Lightning was there. All right, I'm going to move on to the next thing because I've already said it, the same thing twice. Staying on July 19th, 2019, just last year, how can you guys forget the opening day for the Lion King remake? I can't remember it because I still haven't seen it. Moving on to July 20th, 1955, the Tomorrowland boats debut just a couple days after the opening of the park in Tomorrowland Lagoon. Now, this was the first permanent attraction at Disneyland to actually close permanently. So, yeah, sorry about your luck, bro. Staying on July 20th, 1969. A lot of you may remember this date as the day of the very famous Apollo 11 moon landing mission. Well, folks at Disneyland got to actually check it out as they broadcast the moon landing on the Tomorrowland stage. I am super excited as we are just a mere couple years away from returning to the moon. And I really hope that they are able to do the same thing in all the Tomorrowlands all across the world. If they do, I will certainly be at Magic Kingdom watching with bated breath because that just sounds like the coolest place to watch another moon landing. Now, July 21st, a ton of things here. July 21st, 1939, Wayback Machine. Whew, I need another cool Wayback Machine. I need a Wayback Machine graphic. So if you're watching and you're like, hey, here's a cool thing, I can put this up. 1939, there's a Mickey Mouse short titled The Pointer. I was like, what was it called? It was called The Pointer. He just did this for 5 minutes. Actually, no. But what is actually important about this short was that this was the very first time Mickey Mouse had pupils. So it started to look like the modern day Mickey that we actually know and love. July 21st, 1954. Construction began on the Disneyland park. So yes, the entire park was finished in less than a year. I mean, they can't even get an attraction done in 3. So maybe we just need to build parks everywhere and that'll be done in a year. July 21st, 1986, Michael Eisner announced Pleasure Island, the new adult area at the Walt Disney World Resort. It'd be nightclubs, bars, restaurants, all that stuff. Of course, we no longer have the Pleasure Island. We have Disney Springs. Bring your kids. Leave your adults at home or something. Yes, July 21st, 1999, a very important date. It was the day that the very first Fast Pass was issued at Walt Disney World. I would do, I'll tell you what, maybe I'll do a little trivia, see who gets this right. If you can tell me in the comments the very first attraction named Kilimanjaro Safaris that was given a, July 21st, 2002. The Country Bears live action movie gets released at a theater near you. I've seen like 3 minutes of it. But my friend Guy Hutchinson, good friend Guy Hutchinson, he has some other friends. I mean, if you can find that believable. And one of his friends actually gave him props from the movie. That's not appropriate. July 21st, 2018, just 2 years ago, I was there. The opening of, I mean, I wasn't there at the opening, but I've been there since 2018. The opening of Bing Bong's Sweet Stuff at Disney's California Adventure at Pixar Pier. Bing Bong sings to you, and then he gives you candy. Doesn't give you candy, you have to buy the candy. I got nothing else for that. So we're gonna move on to July 22nd. July 22nd, 1967. I usually don't do birthdays on here, but I'm gonna wish a very happy birthday to my good friend Irene Bedard. You may remember Irene as the voice of Pocahontas in Pocahontas, but I actually also got to sit down with one of the nicest people I've ever met for an episode, for an interview for the Milo Beasley Show. So I'll link that down below as well. You can go on my page and find it. So just search Milo Beasley, Irene Bedard, and boom, I'll find it. And then watch it, of course. Don't just find it. July 22nd, 1994. That was me pretending I was on the Tower of Terror, which opened this day in 1994. I've actually gotten to ride the Tower of Terror all by myself, which I have to tell you is one of the freakiest things to do. So if you ever find yourself with the opportunity to ride the Tower of Terror all by yourself, make it happen. I think we're still on July 22nd, right? July 22nd, 2016. So just a couple years ago, Elena of Avalor debuts on the Disney Channel, and now I have this cool pic from Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. I was like, where did I take this picture at? Yeah, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. You could tell because I got the reindeer ears. July 23rd, we got a couple things here. July 23rd, 1956. So Autopia, a very, very high-profile attraction at Disneyland's opening. It was so popular that there was a long line, but there was a little problem. The cars seemed to be a little bit too big for the little kids. So on June 23rd, 1956, they opened Junior Autopia. Learned something today. The cars are too big for the little kids. Good. Let's get off the roads. July 23rd, 2013. We talked about Pleasure Island before. Well, the Comedy Warehouse was the very first building in Pleasure Island to be torn down as progress for the new Pleasure Island / Disney Springs began. So I think there's a restaurant there. Is that the Enzo and Maria is there? Oh, it's maybe Enzo's Hideout is right there. I don't know. I'm gonna look at a map after this. July 24th, 1966. Big week for Disneyland as New Orleans Square opens at Disneyland Park. Now, what's amazing about this land and about this opening was that this was the very first and only major land to open without an attraction. Now, Pirates of the Caribbean would open a year later, and then in another 2 years, Haunted Mansion would appear in New Orleans Square. But there were no big attractions, no big rides inside New Orleans Square when it opens. July 24th, 1985, The Black Cauldron becomes Walt Disney Pictures' 25th fifth animated feature to hit theaters. So, yay! I think that's on the Plus, right? Is that on the Plus? July 24th, we're still here. 1989, Town Square Cafe at the Magic Kingdom in Orlando becomes Tony's Town Square Cafe. It's actually redone to Lady and the Tramp theme. It is very, very well done. And during the Christmas parties, when they have them, Tony even like takes a stroll and sings to you, and then he serves you food. He's really cool. He's a nice guy. And he feeds the dogs out back, so that's great. Except at Magic Kingdom, it's actually cats. Because they're, okay, anyway. So finally, our last day this week, July 25th, 2003, the Disney Institute Resort closes down. If you're unfamiliar with the Disney Institute Resort, it was actually a Michael Eisner production. Said his name a couple times today, not in a good way because things closed. Anyway, it was Michael Eisner production where it was a resort that leaned more on hands-on learning activities instead of, if you didn't want to go to the theme park to do rides and roller coasters and meet characters and do fun stuff, if you wanted to go learn, you would go to this resort. And nobody knows why it was closed. But it actually closed where Saratoga Springs Resort sits now. And then speaking of Saratoga Springs Resort, awesome little segue. July 25th, 2013, my wife's favorite spot on Walt Disney World property, Senses Spa, opens up at Saratoga Springs Resort. So, congratulations, yay, you got all my money, because that's where she goes. So that was it for this week in Disney history. I hope you learned something. I hope it was entertaining. I hope you laughed. I hope you cried. I hope you're telling all your friends. And there's a great way to do that by subscribing, following, liking, sharing, telling everybody that you know, even if it's just the weird cat that lives across the street. But please, please let everyone know how dorky, how cool, how whatever I am. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week for This Week in Disney History.